Welcome to anything. Welcome to anything possible. We're going to do our Tuesday tips. For those guys already here, welcome. I see, looks like Dwight and Catfish Bums in the house already. For the folks who may watch later, try to make it look a little professional on the front end before it all goes to you know where. So Tuesday tips is every Tuesday night, 7 to 8, and it's basically a place. I decided to create a safe place is the popular word, where people can come and hang out, especially like newer anglers, ask questions, get some information that they might not have at their disposal. Um, Rick, welcome. Um, Rick, I got the heating pad here. I'm in position. The ribs are healing, but to be honest with you, the ribs felt pretty good by the end of the week, and then my back went out. I can't win. I'm getting there. Fisherman Joe Outdoors, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but welcome. Thanks for coming in. Josh is in the house from Carp and Catfish Baits, Tips, Trips, Tricks, and Techniques, and more. Awesome channel. A lot of good channels in here. Chad is in the house. So, yeah, I don't know what we were going to talk about tonight. I thought maybe trout. I know in Pennsylvania, April 1st is opening day this year, and a lot of new rules are coming. And right now we just started. Today's Tuesday. I'm all thrown off because the kids had off yesterday. But yesterday was the first day where you were not allowed to technically fish trout stocked streams in Pennsylvania. That's how I understand the rules. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. But I don't think I am. The rules are pretty clear this year, and I don't think that's if it's a stock trout, I'm not. There's gray areas, and I didn't read all those areas because they don't always pertain to me. But if I'm going to walk up to a stocked stream in Pennsylvania that has got the little white signs as stock trout, my understanding, and I'm going to err on this side, is I'm not fishing that water till April 1st. Boxcar Jerry's here. Yeah, feel free to share your links, guys. I don't mind anyone doing that here. Most of you guys are channels I follow anyway. So, and if I don't follow you and you're in the chat, make a comment on one of my videos. Maybe not the live because they're a little harder to go find. And I'll make sure that I connect back to you. That's the least I can do for taking your time to come over and check this out. Spencer's Food Review is in the house. So, yeah, I'm just getting in from fishing. I was out with both boys. Both boys have been fishing with me, so which is awesome, but a little tiring. Tonight, we actually went out for muskie. I lost a muskie on Saturday, so I kind of got the itch back. And I'm still competing in the Sunfish King Fishing League. Kevin and I are in first and second. Kev actually moved ahead of me in week 5. And I think I closed the gap at the end of week 5. So I think I'm back in the lead, but I'm not good at math. We'll wait till the final results come out. It's 10 weeks. We got another 5 weeks to go. We just crossed the halfway point, and we're running out of species. We got like maybe 4 or 5 species that we could technically catch here, but they're not easy to catch. Definitely this time of year, they're not easy to catch. So we might do a little traveling. We'll see. But we also have a pretty good lead, so we're just gonna play it smart and not. I don't want to burn Kevin out. We like to fish for fun, but we also like to fish competitively, and those two things you don't always cross, and you got to be careful. I don't want to burn him out. He'll go till he's burned out. He burned out Sunday. He was out all day Saturday, sun up to sundown. Came home. He was shot. I said, "Why don't we sleep in?" Nope. He was up before the sun. We were on the lake. He fell asleep fishing for carp and catfish up at the lake. I said, "Why don't we go to the lower lake?" Threw him in the car, went to the lower lake. He fell asleep there. And then finally he got like 2 hours of sleep next to the lake. And then he kind of was okay the rest of the day. I'm going to follow Jerry. Catfish Bum, still looking for the lemon pepper trout. That sounds like a delicious trout. I like to find that trout. Man, I cannot read that text. I need to find out how to translate this. Um, Well, welcome. I think I've seen you in my other channels or on my videos, and I think I've checked your stuff out. But when I check those out, I have a translate button. Oh, there we go. Translate to English. Hi, hello. Okay. All righty. Hello, right there back at you. Yeah, you're definitely the channel I checked out. I appreciate all you guys coming in here each week. We have a lot of fun. We like to kick back and chat. So, what do you guys got going on? Adjusting the heat before my back catches on fire. Anyone else out fishing? Doesn't have to be fishing related, but what are you guys up to? Daddy Fishing's in the house. Welcome. Cushion is in the house. So yeah, for the fishing contest, I think what we're I don't really get like a hard and fast game plan. I kind of play it by ear and the seat of my pants, and not because I don't like planning, I do, but you know, trying to do well in this competition is to do well, you have to catch a bunch of different fish, and to do that, we're really only fishing Saturday, Sunday, maybe an hour tops after school or something. So we're always trying to go after multiple species if we get the opportunity. So not sure where we're going to go. I know we need to catch catfish yet, bullheads, channels. We need to catch walleye. We need to catch stripers. Stripers we're going after next. Pumpkin seed sunfish, which sunfish sound easy, but there's pumpkin seeds do not play this time of year very well. And we're still trying to track one down. And red breast sunfish. So that's like, what, 5 right there? And I know I missed a couple other fish. But we want to chase those down. Bud Files in the house. What's going on? Hello, peoples. Hello, back at you. Lamb Jam from Alabama is in the house. Renslow, thank you for popping in. Appreciate you watching. Belt Loop is in the house. He's a great channel, too. I don't know why you're not a moderator. I thought I made you a moderator before. Maybe I did it at the end of a session or something. Catfish. Bum says, catfish, now you're talking my language. It's a challenge fishing for cats around here. And tonight I went to another spot that I grew up going to, and there's no trespassing signs by the county and by the park. They don't want anyone there, and it's driving me up a wall. They don't answer you when you email them. Like, I get, like, there's a ton of trash behind, but they're just kicking us out of the park, basically. There's not a lot of legal nighttime access around here unless you go down to the river, which is challenging with Kevin being school age. But that's probably going to be what we're going to do. I'm just going to have to buy a bigger engine for my boat and get out on the Schuylkill River next year. Dollar bills. I don't know. What are you talking about, Jerry? I missed something here. Dollar bills work best. Stripers for stripers? Oh, Lord. Let's see. Jeff, Fishing with Jeff Beal is here. If you're talking to me, my first name is Bob. My younger son, who you see fishing, is Kevin. Wife is Kristen. My older boy is Lyle. Nice to meet you, Renslow. I don't know if you were in when I said it earlier. If you're not already subbed to me and you like what you see here, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you do that, leave a comment and I will go check out your channel if I'm not already connected. I try to remember all the channels, and if I see them, then I usually remember, like, oh, I remember that content. I know, especially if there's a community page on your page, I'll kind of remember people better. but there's just too many to remember. But I will. I work hard on trying to make sure I view content, and I'll throw the notifications on, and I'll try to keep up on it the best I can. I know there's going to come a point where I'm basically can't, but right now I can, so I'm going to do it. Read in the chat. Yeah, I'm a Bob. Fishing with Basquatch. Love that name. Welcome. Yeah, so I don't know about how Jersey is. I meant to go through and look at some of the nearby states on what their opening day is. But how many of you guys in chat go out for opening day at trout season? I know it's a loaded question because most guys fish trout almost the whole year that are like hardcore trout fishermen. So opening day is like kind of a goofy thing, honestly. But I love it. You just have to go in with the right expectation. It's not like every other day. Sasquatch was my son's handle in fish brain for a long time. It's a good one. Probably have to like Basquatch 38, Basquatch 99. Probably a whole bunch of Basquatch out there now. Jerry, that's the beauty of opening day. You can't fish till 8 a.m. Everyone and their uncle's out there. And when I grew up, we used to go to the Skipback Creek, and Trout House taking his girlfriend out. Nice. I did the same thing as a teenager. Ribs are good, Catfish Bum. Renslow, thank you. So yeah, I used to go out opening day at trout with my dad and my brother. And this was Skipback, Norristown, PA, so not far north of Philadelphia. Same like Jerry's saying, everybody would come out of the woodwork first day of trout, and they would be drunk. And this is like as a 8-year-old, or I've fished since I was pretty much born. I grew up fishing. And there'd be people just hammered drunk. So at first I hated that whole, as a kid, I couldn't stand that whole, or I just wanted to be out in nature. But I learned to really enjoy it. And like, I remember counting like how many drunks would fall in the creek before we started fishing. And that became a thing. Like, we would go there early. We'd get the best spot. We'd cross the creek because we had waders on since we could walk. We'd get to the spot, and then we'd back to the bank, sit down. And usually it was like after Easter back then. We'd have the Easter candy, and it was like a party. And we'd sit there and watch people literally fall in or go over their boots. It was just like, it was a different type of day, but it was a lot of fun. And so now with kids, we'll go out there, and we'll get there. It's ridiculous. We get there 3:30, 4 o'clock. I don't want to give out my spots, but we go some spots locally that aren't great spots or just stocked spots. But the people that show up are so awesome. I mean, we do, and I'll try to. Last year I was going to do a live from there, but we ended up getting invited upstate to a trout camp, which was an amazing experience. That was our 100th video, and that's a good one to go back and watch. But we wanted to do this one spot because everybody shows up and they're cooking sausage and like anything you can imagine, mostly venison recipes. And it's just a huge barbecue stream side. And we take care of all the kids, make sure the kids are having fun. And I kid you not, by like 8 o'clock, I think it's 8 o'clock is like when you're allowed to fish, half the people leave because everyone goes to the creek and fishes. And half the guys were there not to even fish, just to like party and have a good time. So I look forward to that nonsense a lot. And then like by the afternoon, the creek's like empty. It's hilarious. And they all park at the lots and fish at the lots. So, there's a lot of fish in the creek. And this year, especially since I think they made that, it seems like they made the stretch between like now you can't fish trout now to opening day longer. Now, if they stay on schedule and they actually stock the trout soon, hopefully those trout will have more time in those creeks. And I think they'll last longer because of that. That's my theory anyway, in the good creeks that are cold enough to hold them. My other concern, or my concern would be in spots closer to the city where it's warm and it's already such a warm year and the water levels are going to be low, is they're going to be eagle food or they're going to be dead in no time. But we'll see how it works out. I'm going to fall behind chat. Yeah. Everyone's saying hello to each other. I never know how far back to scroll. If I miss somebody, I'm sorry. I still don't know how to go back and see who's in the chat, except for just like scrolling through the actual chat. I saw this. Trout, I'll be taking my girlfriend out. Yeah, my wife and I dated in high school, and we fished before and after school. We made squirrel. We went out squirrel hunting together. She'd eat squirrel in high school. Not a lot of girls in Norristown eating squirrel. Catfish. Asking me about my ribs. The ribs are getting there. My back's actually worse than my ribs now. I broke my neck a few years back, and I've got a lot of issues with that. So once anything else starts going, that goes. And then, yeah, it's not good, but I get around all right. Nice. Always go opening day. Yep. Jeff starts 3 to 4 a.m. I wonder if that's a Pennsylvania thing or if that's everywhere. I don't mind getting there early as long as you have the spot. One of the things I didn't like about Salmon River Pulaski was it's kind of like opening day every day. You couldn't, I think it was 30 minutes before sunset or sunrise, you couldn't be on the water. So you have to show up or you couldn't fish. You could be on the water, but you couldn't fish. So it's the same idea. You got to get there early to claim your spot. We'd get there and claim our spot. Kevin was like 6 at the time, the first time we went. We got our spot, and then people just came in at 8 o'clock and walked right in front of you anyway. I was like, that was not cool. That really was upsetting because we just sat there for 5 hours for absolutely nothing. But there's a lot of good parts of the Salmon River. That was just my very first experience up there was that one. Fishing with Basquatch says, I fish trout year round personally. I've had some of my best catches in the middle of winter. Don't tell anyone, man. It's the best kept secret. All winter long. They're natural. They fight harder. You don't have to worry about them dying on the release. Yeah, same thing. We fish them. I mean, almost once a week, we're specifically targeting trout. And we probably ate trout, once a week. Because we had a few holes that just kept supplying, and these are stocked holdovers. So, in fact, the day before they closed, Monday. So Sunday we were out. We caught 3. So that's a good feeling when they closed the lake and there's still holdovers in there. So I know where I'm going opening day, I guess. Too many people. Jerry, is it too many people or is it just New Jersey people? I tend to avoid New Jersey people too, Jerry. I'm kidding. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm usually in my basement, and I have a big Pennsylvania flag and Alaska flag behind me because they're the 2 states I spent most of my time and they're my homes, I guess. But I can't really do steps too well. Though you should have seen the ridge I went down the muskie hole tonight. It took me forever to get down there and get back up. Did I miss Squirrel? Squirrel's Magnet Fishing and Outdoors. Welcome in. Good to see you. Great channel. I still have to order that magnet, Squirrel. You showed me one of the magnets that I think you use. We have one that we got off of Amazon, but it's not that great. I definitely want to get a good one. Your kids are getting into that a lot. And it's just another thing to do at the creek. When the fishing's slow, or maybe you have a catfish rod in a holder, it's something they can do. They also pan for gold. Like this weekend, we went out to French Creek State Park. There's 2 lakes there and about 3 streams. And we were looking again for multi-species. So we were micro fishing for some weird species. But my older son wanted to go, and we went panning for gold. There's actually golden pyrite. I don't know if there's any in there for real, but it says, some websites said that there could be some in that area. So we have all the stuff that I brought home from Alaska, and we went out there and we're panning for gold, and it's a lot of fun. You find some cool rocks at the very least. So. Gotcha, Trout Al. Gotcha. Yeah, my wife hasn't fished. Well, she fishes a little bit with us, but she hasn't really fished in a long time. just the way the kids are. It's hard to get them. It's doing better. It's hard to get them together. They kind of are two separate, like Lyle fishes and Kevin fishes, but they don't really like fishing together. So we end up very rarely we get time. We don't usually get the fish together. But in Alaska, she was the head cook at camp, and I was a fishing guide. And once in a while, we'd get I don't know who's listening in tonight. I don't want to start a fight, but once in a while, we'd get some guests who, I don't know, would either complain that there was no fish in the water. And these were usually the guys who weren't listening to the guide, thought they knew better. And I'm not saying I'm a great guide or anything, but I fished the same river. That's where I lived. I knew exactly how to catch those fish with the tackle that we had. And still, sometimes people would come up and not listen. And one time, this one gentleman went over the edge, and my wife came out on the boat, and we didn't plan it, but she happened to be on the boat, and I think she caught 3 or 4 kings in about 20 minutes right in front of him. And it was awkward. He's probably in chat. He's probably one of these guys hanging out in the background. Aiden, welcome in. Welcome in. Aiden's another local guy, killing it out there. Outdoors with Big Matt, Snugster, both in the house. Thanks for coming in. Let's see. Catfish Bum says, here in Kentucky, we find a lot of jewelry with a magnet, but I still have a body hooked to it with concrete blocks. I didn't think that was Kentucky. That sounds like Jerry's town over there in New Jersey. Centurion magnets. That's the one I looked at. Yeah. And they have like kits and stuff that come with the magnets that kind of like they're having the right rope. That stuff's kind of important. You know, you have some of those magnets are like rated to like bring up a couple 100 pounds. So I don't know, like, what if you hook a car? I don't even know if the kids could get it off the car. So I'm not sure how all that plays out. I have to watch your channel, I guess. Hooks and Hammocks, thanks for coming in. Another cool channel. Watch you guys. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. What else we got to talk about? I haven't given an update in a while for the channel. I just popped over on the other page. It says 554 subs. It's growing. It's growing pretty quick. We're trying to do more lives. Last week we did 3 carp lives and this live. We're going to do this one every Tuesday, but this one will also be on the water eventually. Our goal is to move this Tuesday night tips over to this local park that's like insanely packed with sunfish, and invite some people out there and actually do it live and try to get kids involved. That's kind of where I want to go with the Tuesday night tips. Who else came in here? Did I see Sunfish King come in? I think I saw somebody say Sunfish King. Here in Kentucky. Yeah, Sunfish King. You're supposed to be studying, but thanks for coming in. We went out tonight. Still chasing muskie. I think I told you what happened last week. We'll see if it happens. I don't want to get distracted. You know, like around here, catching a muskie is so hard. I don't want to get distracted and catch 0 species, but there's a good chance I get 0 species this week and get distracted by this muskie. Sunfish King said, my trout season is almost over. It ends when crappie season starts. Right now, I'm in hybrid trout and crappie season. Been catching trout on power bait, crappie trout. Nice. Awesome, man. Awesome. Worms, and I think he means shiners. Nets vlog, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Squirrel says, if you hook it to a car, you are out of luck if the car is in the water. Yeah. I was just thinking like shopping carts even that are like packed with dirt and rock and stuff that have been in the bottom of the water. Like, how would you bring that up? I would think that would happen pretty often. I didn't know if there was like any, not on the models I saw because I wasn't going for an expensive one, but I didn't know if you could get a trout magnet where you could somehow shut the magnetism off if you hook into something you can't get up. That's all right, Nets Vlog. You don't need to be a fisher person, angler. That's okay. One of the things we do here is we try to support each other's channels. I don't talk a lot about that, but we are here to support each other. And I mean, it's a great community. When I got into putting out videos, I didn't know that even existed. And, you know, I love fishing and I actually love editing, but it's a lot of work. And it's nice to have people, you know, other, I don't know, content creators is the word I guess everyone uses, but like have other content creators out there that do what you do. It's always nice to hang out with somebody with the same, suffering the same as you are, dealing with the same issues. Yeah, Sunfish King. I know he said I'm ahead of everyone, but Kevin on the species. Yeah, Kev's my. He's a trip. He's gonna be. He could fly ahead of me, especially right now. I'm doing a lot of bank fishing and not very mobile. He takes that rod and he starts traveling. I'm just like, he's gonna come back with something weird. I know he is. Let's see what else. Brandon's in the house. Brandon's Outdoors Adventures. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Appreciate it. The true Eco is in the house. Going on, another local guy to me. Met him out on Chambers Lake, local lake. Everyone's just saying hello. Yeah, we're just talking about, well, talking about everything as usual, but trout. We got trout season coming here soon. So a lot of the lakes that I would fish and creeks are kind of off limits right now. We're having a really hard time finding fishing spots, to be honest with you, that, you know, even if you're not targeting trout, the rules seem to be clear that you can't be fishing that water. And, you know, there's been this push to stock trout in so many of the streams around here. And it's kind of backfiring now, and you can't fish in them at all for like one of the best months of the year. And it's warm. We're a month ahead of where we should be. The grass is turning green. Everything's a month ahead. The bees are already out there making honeycomb. It's crazy warm. You know, tonight I saw like all the baby sunfish up on the surface right before dark doing that little feeding thing where you can't hook them and they're eating all the gnats and stuff. Their hatch is going on. And we're basically in like April weather pattern. It's crazy. Yeah, Eco is he's near me in like I think Paoli, Pennsylvania area. I've been fishing trout since November. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I don't have a good handle on trout seasons throughout the country. You know, on the east, I think it's really just kind of follows the weather. Like April in a lot of these spots, and you know, March, April, by May, they're kind of dying. Like there's this whole idea of like catch and release, right? But a lot of these streams, you might as well just eat them because they're going to die. I don't mean to say it like that, but they're going to die. So I'm just, you know, if you let them go, it's really only because you're going to go back and catch them the following week and you don't want to freeze them, which is kind of what we do. But then where we are, we can drive a half an hour south and we have all those streams that, you know, a lot of the streams where they won't survive, we can drive a half an hour north and catch natives and wilds. So it's kind of a cool spot. We're right on the edge of mountains. Yeah, Aiden did. Aiden did. He got a nice one. I saw that one, man. I saw that one. Don't give up the spot because I'm going to be right in it. Don't give it up. Oh, you're out in Pittsburgh, Brandon. Nice. I've spent a lot of time out that way. Yeah, that's awesome. You got a lot of good fishing out there too. Yeah, I don't want to go down that whole trail. I'll talk for an hour about my trips to Pittsburgh, but PA Breadman, thanks for coming in. Weatherman says big weather change for March and April. I don't listen to the weathermen long term. They said that this winter was going to be one of the coldest on records, dry and no snow. And you know what they said now? Oh, just like we predicted, no snow. You also said it was going to be the coldest, but they left that part out. Media always does that. They constantly tweak what they said so that they're never wrong. People fall for it. What did Sunfish King say? Let's see. Sunfish King, Aiden, if you give him that spot, well, you know what? Sunfish King will probably drive all the way out here and it'll be frozen over because it is going down to like 10 degrees this weekend. And I think Pond Hopper, is that Rex and David? I was watching Dave's live on Friday, and he's like, Sunfish King's driving out to catch some crappie. And he was like, the lake's frozen. So I was listening to all that drama in real time. I don't know if you got the fish out there or not. Yeah, Ika, I've been thinking about heading down the shore, but I'm perusing the internet looking for a glimpse. I don't need to know where the guy caught it or anything, but I'm not seeing much. So I think I'm going to go down. I don't know if next week or week after. It kind of depends on the weather. But I'm getting hot in here. I got my back heating thing on from my ribs. I'm thinking of going down the Chesapeake. I feel like I'd have more options inland and in the water, and it'll be warmer. It's 2 weekends. Shrimp Buckets. What's going on? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. I like that name, Shrimp Buckets. It's awesome. If you're not subbed already, go ahead and do it. If you like the content, we put out a lot of, that's what I was telling you guys. We put out a lot of videos. Every Friday, I release a new video, and we go live every Tuesday. But we're going to try to do more lives during the week. With more sunlight and the kids getting older, I can do that a little bit more. We put out 3 additional lives last week for carp. We caught 4 carp on the first 2, which is not bad. We're out there for 45 minutes, and carp takes some time to like get them into the spot. So we did pretty good. We got skunked on our last one, but it's February, right? But yeah, we got some decent carp on the live, and I liked it. The kids seemed to like it, so that's half the battle. I didn't know if the kids would like me doing a live while they're there, and of course Kevin loved it. So definitely going to do more of those. Ted, thanks for coming in. Off the Hook Outdoors, another Pittsburgh guy. Yep. Eco is a Philly guy, more of a Philly guy. Yeah, the ocean just looked, we were down there in the beginning of winter, and it was dead early, I thought. And there was still like the rare stripers being caught, but I thought it died off early. Aiden, throw that raccoon in there. Are there catfish in Beltsville? Throw that raccoon right in there. Chum that spot up for me. I'm trying to keep up on chat. Sunfish, you out of here? As we caught the fish in the crap. Okay, it was fine. We caught fish, and I had a crappie fry. Even caught a little green sunny. A couple nice crappie too. Okay, I wasn't sure because I heard they were going to break ice or something, so I wasn't sure how that turned out. And I did see that, but I didn't realize that was the same day, I guess. Yeah, I know you got to get stuff done, man. He's got a lot of work to do in college. He's taking all kinds of courses on like conservation for fishing and things like that. So he'll be out there arresting us someday for fishing on some creek, I'm sure. Yeah, February is tough, Eco. Very tough. Even when it warms up early, it's nothing changes overnight in the water. And that's what this contest is. Sunfish King, it puts it on, and it's so awesome. I mean, this is the time of year where like we typically won't fish much. I used to be a bike racer, and believe it or not, when you get old and you stink at bike racing, your sponsor sends you to these weird races. So I actually raced a lot in the wintertime. That was my main season. So I would I would ride all winter long. That was my main race season. So now that I don't have that, I can go fishing, but fishing kind of stinks. If the ice is thick, I do ice fishing. So this year, it's hard work, but we've also proved that the fish are there. They do eat. It's just you got to learn how to, you got to learn how to catch them. It's a little bit different than they're in different places and they're eating different things in different ways in the winter. Aiden said, yeah, there are big channels in there. Saw a few big ones on Fish Brain. Huh. Yeah, I never really fished it that much at night. I wish I did more of night fishing there, and I will, I guess, once I get a bigger engine on my boat. Ted said I was up at Seven Springs this past weekend skiing, and the lakes and ponds had some ice on them, but the water was looking good. Yeah, I love that. Seven Springs was one of the spots we used to race. We used to do 24-hour racing out there. That was like a big national qualifier. I used to race out there all the time. Beautiful area. Squirrel City is an hour and a half from Harrisburg. Someday I'll learn how to read chat. I feel like I'm on ADHD when I'm trying to read this. Squirrel's a half hour from Harrisburg. Eco, yeah, I was out in Downingtown in one of my best ever spots and nothing. Yeah. Aiden said there's places to fish in Downingtown. You said too much, Eco. No, there's not. Nothing. Okay, Pittsburgh is all Boxy. Isn't Boxy also from Pittsburgh? What's going on here? Boxy's in the house. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Do you know where the mill is? Ika is asking who knows where the mill is. Never fished Beltsville night because there are weird park rules. Yeah, Aiden, that's what I was. Man, all the parks in Pennsylvania are like that. And you know what happens is like they have all these rules about not being there after dark, but you can use the boat launch and you can get out there. So if you got a boat, you're good. But what happens is like this, you have this whole like nightlife that comes out to these parks at night. And one place, is it Hoy? Locals might know. It's down where the Skipback Creek runs into the Perky. There's, same signs, don't come in at night and all that stuff. They close. And I was chatting with the homeowners association that runs that development right there. And I thought I was going to get yelled at. And they came down and were like, no, we want fishermen here. I'm like, you got to put out different signs. But she said they want the fishermen here because it keeps the other kids away. She said there's a lot of young kids like hanging out, getting into trouble down there. They said if there's some, adult fishermen hanging out, that was their theory anyway. And I think they're on to something. A lot of these parks around here, I really think it's since COVID. I'm seeing all these new rules and it's staffing related. They have no staff. They can't fill the jobs. I know the park up the road has one ranger. They're supposed to have 4 rangers. So they say it's closed and then they leave. And if anything happens, it's not on them. Like that's my theory. I don't know. Let me get back to this. Weird park rules got me distracted. Aiden fish. Well, and Paul Pack's another really good lake. I do like fishing that. I've had a lot of luck there over the years. Boxy. Piatuming Lake is one that I really do want to hit. I haven't hit that yet. Nets. There, but there. Yeah, the park rules are there, but barely enforced. Beltsville is impossible to get into during the summer. They don't close the park. Yeah, my parents live right by Beltsville. I hear all about that. And when I try to drive up to see them, if I don't go in the right way, I'm just stuck out there in traffic. It's crazy. Eco Chambers on their website also says they close at dark, but then it does say fishing is allowed 24/7. And I really think that's what more of these parks should say. Nikki from the Wine Cellar says, hi, humans. I'd be careful how you use that term. There's some sus people in here, but you're welcome. Thanks for coming in. Welcome to our live chat. Summer business. Carol's a local shop up there. Carol said she loves the summer business but hates the crowds. Yeah, it gets out of control. A lot of people coming down from New York City, and they leave a lot of trash. Um, they bury the diapers on the sand. It's disgusting. I think I don't want to get into a whole chat about what they should do with Beltsville State Park, and I'm not for fees and things, but I think if they had a gate and they charged a couple dollars to enter, you'd see that, you'd see a lot of that stuff leave real quick. And I mean, a couple of dollars is pretty darn reasonable. Um, Cat Quatch, stealing name for the week. Blue Marsh, Marsh Creek. Yep, fish both of those pretty well. Yep, hit them both hard for muskie. Do their little tail out waters. They're definitely good lakes. Marsh Creek. Yep, yep. Yeah, a lot of those places are like that. Aiden said I follow a guy on Instagram that catch crazy fish at Blue Marsh every day, but I've never got a fish there. Yeah, a lot of times it's just their home water and they know it inside and out and they stay on it and they locate it. I don't know how much of it's following patterns. Some of the top guys, can take that pattern and hop 30 miles away into another lake and reproduce it and pull one out. Those guys are the guys that do really well in competitions. You got to be able to make a pattern out of it. Um, I'm not that great at that. I just work really hard and I fish all the time. And eventually I remember where I saw something and what time of year that was. And I start putting it together in my head. And um, I'm not a lucky person, but I am a lucky fisherman, lucky angler, I should say. All right, Shrimp Buckets, get to sleep. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Let's see. One thing I noticed about the state parks. Aiden said, one thing I noticed about the state parks in the summer, especially the one with lakes. Um, yeah, I think what you mean is it has nothing to do with them as a culture or anything. Um, I think what it has to do with is a lot of them is coming from New York City, and they can be any culture, you know, any religion, any sex, anything. It's just a different. I guess if you come out of a place that's got trash blowing around like some of these inner cities do, that's all you know. I don't know how else to say it. It's all you know. All right, Eco. Thanks for coming in. I'm not going to stay. Maybe another 10 minutes or so. I started a little bit early, and yeah, I'll probably end it in a few minutes. Happy I was able to catch the stream. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Shrimp Bucket is a great name. I can't get over that name. I don't know. Let me think what's coming up this week. It's Tuesday. We're really we keep trying to catch catfish and I just haven't had any luck. And they're really not that hard to catch around us. So I don't want to keep, I think we just have to be patient and find something to catch that we can catch and not be worrying about the competition and the contest right now. Maybe just take a week off from it and see if we get any accidental catches and maybe go after crappie or something where we know we can go and catch 50 of them. But Kev is very competitive, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's the other thing, Aiden. If it's not your home, if it's just like kids, you don't give them ownership of something, they don't care. They're not going to treat it right. They have to, they have to, yeah, complain about New Yorkers. And I'm sure every state has the same thing about the neighboring state, and they complain, oh, they're coming from here, or they're coming from there. It's the same thing, man. It's the same thing everywhere. It's urban sprawl or whatever you want to call it. You might live in the spot that's not as highly populated and you got nice parks. Well, guess what? People are going to come over and enjoy those parks. And if it's your yard, say you own that yard, I hope you're going to clean that yard up. And if it's a park down the road that you go to all the time, you're going to clean that park up. But if it's 2 hours away, you should clean it up, obviously. But I think they, like you said, I think the longer you go from home, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Leon, thanks for coming in. Leon has a great channel too. I love listening to Leon, especially when he's talking about nothing. He's doing an awesome job. He's been smoke free for what, 2 months now? Has it been that long? I want to say it happened around New Year's. Was it a New Year resolution? But I'm always afraid to ask, but he's doing really good. And I think he's off patches and everything now. It's awesome. 3:51 in the house. What's going on? I'm just about to go off, guys. Couple more minutes. 6 weeks. All right. Leon's been off smoking for 6 weeks. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I stopped drinking for 7 months one time. Not a drop of alcohol. And then, you know, I just had to like cold turkey. And I'm drinking a little bit now. But I needed I needed to stop completely just to like feel better. So yeah, smoking's one crutch I never had, but I don't need any other problems. And people that smoke, it's really hard for them to quit. So I think you're actually over the hard part now. So now it's just more of not going back for any. And with drinking, it was more about just getting finding different people to hang out with, which was hard. It's not easy to like find different people to hang out with because they've become your best friends and everything. But my neighbor, Aidenson, my neighbor is always smoking, and his cigarettes end up in the driveway. Yeah. Let's not trash cigarette smokers now, Aiden. Easy now. Easy. I don't know. What else are we going to talk about? Anyone else have any? I feel like I did all the talking tonight. Don't really have anything else to talk about. So if you guys don't have anything to talk about, I'm going to just, the cat just came running through the room. I'm just going to end it. Belt Loop can cook. So Cleveland. Another cat just came in the room. I'm going to cut out, guys. Appreciate you all coming in. Okay, my oldest boy just found 7 sisters. That's a constellation?
No, star cluster.
Star cluster. I'm trying to learn this stuff. I'm going to go out there and look at the stars. You guys have a great night. Appreciate you coming in, and we'll see you on the water. Peace. All right, I'll be right there, bud.